Hello and welcome to today's Delta Credit Tip. So you're out there shopping for a credit card and we need to make sure that the credit card that you get is a good one. How do we know we got a good credit card? Well, stay tuned. We're going to give you tips on how to shop for that new credit card right here on today's Delta Credit Tip. Hello and welcome back to today's Delta Credit Tip. So you're out there shopping for a credit card and we want to make sure that we get a good credit card that's going to last us a while. So we're going to go through some tips on some of the procedures and some of the things that we look for out of credit cards when we're issuing them out to our clients. And hopefully this information is helpful. So give us a thumbs up. Don't forget, subscribe below, hit the bell so that every Thursday when we come out with new information to help you in your credit restoration process, you get that information right out of the gate. All right, so let's talk about these credit cards and some of the things that you want to look for. Some of the, more popular items, some are going to be less popular, but they're all super important. Okay, so let's start with the obvious, right? Well, before we start really diving into the different characteristics, the first thing we need to decide is, well, what are we going to use the credit card for? Okay, because how you use the credit card is going to be important. Credit cards, by nature, by design, they're designed for carrying balances for less than 30 days. Why do you say that? Because if you pay most credit cards off within the first billing cycle, you don't pay any interest. So they're kind of designed that way to give you a short-term cash infusion when you need it, but you pay it off at the end of the month so you don't get charged interest. Okay, that's how they're supposed to be used. But if you're using it for, say, a business or you're using it for something else, then how it's being used may be a little bit different, and the different characteristics that we go over, it will start to prioritize them differently. So first thing you need to decide is, well, how do I plan to use the card? Am I going to need to do cash advances? Am I going to need to carry balances for more than 30 days? How much limit do I need? Do I qualify? Is it going to be a secured credit card or an unsecured credit card? So you really need to start thinking about what kind of card and how you're going to use the card to determine which characteristics are important for you. All right? So one of the first obvious characteristics is the annual percentage rate. Okay, and the reason why we want to really know these characteristics about the card and kind of pick which one we want is because we want a card that we want to keep. Because 15% of our credit score is the average age of the account. So we don't want to be closing stuff out because we don't like paying a high interest rate or an annual fee, right? So we want cards that we're going to keep for a long period of time to maintain that credit score, which is, by the way, the reason why I don't like building your credit with loans, because the loans close after 6 months or a year or whatever, and they no longer continue to help you, and you just paid a bunch of interest, right? Where you didn't have to do that with a credit card, right? You don't have to have debt to have credit, right? But let's talk about that first characteristic, which is the annual percentage rate, okay? Now, the annual percentage rate is only relevant if you keep the balance for an extended period of time. Interest is irrelevant without time. So if you think you're going to be carrying balances for more than the 30 days, then we really want to be cognizant of what the annual percentage rate is. Okay? But it's not the most important characteristic. Okay? Because if you don't carry a balance, you're not going to be charged interest anyway. Does that make sense? All right. So the next thing that you're going to want to look for is the grace period. Now, the grace period kind of works with that annual percentage rate, and that is that 30-day window that you have to pay off that credit card without being charged interest. And the reason why you want to look for that is because if you happen to be going after a secured credit card, or if you're a credit building credit card, right, where they intentionally allow people with low credit scores in, you may find that they charge you from the day you swipe to the day you pay. Okay? And that can add up real fast. and change the whole nature of that card. So make sure that you have a grace period with the credit cards so that you don't have to necessarily pay that annual percentage rate, or at least for the 30 days or whatever that you keep the balance. Okay. So now that we've got the annual percentage rate out of the way, now let's talk about some of the fees that are associated with the account. The first and obvious is the annual fee. Okay. We don't want credit cards with annual fees, obviously, because we're going to get tired of paying it. The better your credit is, the less likely you have to pay for your credit card. Now, if you're getting a secured credit card, probably there's going to be a fee. If you're getting a rewards credit card, like you've got a great credit card, right, with all these rewards, but they're going to make you pay an annual fee for it. So you want to be cognizant of what that that fee is, because if you're not really using the perks that come with the card, then why am I paying a fee for the card? And usually once you apply for that specific card, you can't just transfer into a different style of card, even with the same creditor. So we want to make that decision up front. Do we want a card that's associated with rewards, or do we even qualify for a credit card associated with rewards? And do we like the annual fee that goes with that card? Okay. The next fee that you want to be associated with or become cognizant about is the transfer fee. If your goal is to transfer your balance from this high interest rate credit card over to another credit card with, say, a promotional period, okay, you're going to want to read the specifics behind the promotional period, because it's only going to last for a certain amount of time. And when that time comes to an end, well, you need to find out what's going to happen to you if you don't have it paid off. And if you do plan to pay it off before that promotional period is over with, well, what does your monthly payments have to be? Okay? And we are coming out with a video that will show you how to calculate what they call the per diem, like what they charge you per day for a credit card. So be on the lookout for that video so that you can actually mathematically plan your financial future with this credit card, and you're going in there with, you know, all the wherewithal as to the specifics of your card and how to calculate how much it's going to cost you on a daily basis. Okay? So when you have a transfer, okay, what you want to start being cognizant of is, what is the fee to transfer? Yes, I might not be charged any interest for 6 months or a year, but if I'm transferring $15,000 and it's a flat 3% fee, or $10,000, there's a flat 3% fee. Well, how long does that float me? Right? How long do I have before I break even? Right? And that's what you want to kind of keep in mind, because it may actually exceed 12 months or the promotional period that you have. The 3% transfer fee may be more than what you would be charged for the duration that you would hold the balance anyway. So be aware of the transfer fee. All right? So that was the annual fee. That was the transfer fee. Next is the cash advance fee. If you take cash out of that credit card, typically that historically has had a higher interest rate than a purchase. Now, federal regulations have kind of tightened down on that a little bit, but you definitely want to read the terms and agreement of your card to understand how that cash advance rate differs from the purchase rate. And is there a fee associated with the cash advance itself? Just like there is a fee for the balance transfer from another credit card. Okay? Now, if you're going after a secured credit card, another characteristic that you want to look for that will help us in that whole longevity piece, about keeping the account longer than just a few years, is you want to see if your secured credit card will convert to an unsecured credit card over time. In other words, with so many positive payments or positive payment history, will they convert the card from a secured credit card to an unsecured credit card. That will make it more likely that we're willing to keep the card, right? Because it could do away with the annual fee. It could change the annual percentage rate. Not to mention, I'm getting the money I put down as collateral back into my pocket. So you want to see if they have the conversion, okay? So where do you find all this information? Okay, and this is super, super important. When you sign up for that credit card, all this information is found in the terms and agreement. And sometimes credit card companies don't want to mail this to you until after you get the credit card. You want to get this before you get the credit card or at the time of application so that you can determine whether or not you want to activate that card before the annual fee, right? So hold on to those terms and agreement. And here are a couple of things that you're going to want to look for in that terms and agreement. First, the most important thing of all is what happens in case of default. And there's a couple of avenues we're going to go with this. One is, can they sue you? More often than not, credit card companies don't want to go to court. So they will have arbitration agreements in the terms and agreement that basically you sign to waive your rights for a jury trial, and you agree to arbitration should there be a default. In other words, not necessarily just a default, but if there is any kind of issue between you and them and you, it goes to arbitration versus them just strictly suing you. And that's important to know, because if times do get tough and you default on that card, knowing ahead of time what's going to happen is a big deal. Okay? Along with that arbitration agreement is that opportunity or the demand of the contract that you waive your right to a jury trial. Okay? And last, you want to see about the assignment agreement. Okay? The thing about credit cards is that when they charge off, if they are going to send your account to a debt collector, and if that debt collector is to charge you interest and fees in their process of collecting, all this needs to be in the terms and agreement. The ability for them to assign it to a third party, and that third party's ability to charge you interest or fees in their collection efforts. All that has to be in the terms and agreement. If you don't keep your terms and agreement, and it comes time to resolve a default, and you ask for the terms and agreement, you may not get the actual terms and agreement that's specific to your card. How's that happen? Well, you got to understand, Capital One may come out with several credit cards from the time you got yours. They may not even have that terms and agreement on file anymore, depending on how long it's been. It could be 20 years from now, right? But your contract is still binding in regards to the one that you signed. And you want to make sure that you keep a copy of that just in case they didn't, because the one that they do produce is obviously going to support their position in whatever they're trying to do. So make sure that you keep that terms and agreement. That is the holy grail of that account, and that will determine what happens when when bad stuff happens. Okay? So I hope this information helps, right? Again, understand what the credit card is going to be used for. Understand these general characteristics, the main ones being, how does the annual percentage rate work? Is there a grace period? What are the fees associated with the account? And what happens in case of default? This information is super vital when it's vital. So do your due diligence, take the time to make the file and keep all this information handy, because it will help you. And if it did, or it will, or it's helping you in any way, go ahead, give us those thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so that every Thursday when we come out with new information to help you in your credit restoration process, you get it right out of the gate. And hopefully this will help you make a choice to make a change. Delta.